Hey there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another Chris Farley review, and this time it is Beverly Hills Ninja. A film that, once again, did not get a lot of praise to this day. I think of the 4 films Chris Farley starred in, this has the lowest rating on IMDb. It even has a lower rating than Almost Heroes, which I disagree with. I thought this was a fun movie. It's a silly idea, but so is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. But granted, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective I do think is a funnier movie than this. But this is still an entertaining film. It's silly. I like the idea. Maybe because as a kid I like Chris Farley. I like ninjas. Put them together. Yeah, it seems fun. And on top of that, short film. It's under an hour and a half. It's directed by Dennis Dugan, who I think this is right after Happy Gilmore. I believe he did that. Dennis Dugan has directed a lot of Adam Sandler films since then. But this is one of Dennis Dugan's early movies. And not only do you have Chris Farley, you have a small role with Chris Rock. I actually wish Chris Rock was in the film more. Maybe it would have been a buddy movie like Chris Farley and David Spade had in Tommy Boy, but maybe this was a chance for Chris Farley to share the spotlight by himself. Well, that's not sharing the spotlight. To have the spotlight on himself. Sharing the spotlight with nobody is what I meant. And he did a good job. This shows he could make it as a lead, in my opinion. It came out in 1997. I think it made as much money as Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. It seemed like they were usually like $30 million hits. I don't know, maybe it was a flop and I don't realize it. Sadly, no features, which sucks. You also have Robin Shou, which was cool, because I'm like, oh cool, the guy from Mortal Kombat, he played Liu Kang, he's in this. And it was cool because he got to show his comedy side. Soon Teko, the villain from Missing in Action 2, the beginning, who had the fight with Chuck Norris at the end, he's in here as the sensei. Pretty much as a baby, he's found by these guys, Soon Teko, who's the master, the sensei, and they train him because they think he's the great white ninja. But they're like, we were wrong, he's not the great white ninja. And he's accidentally keeps hitting Robin Shou, and Robin Shou's chasing him. And I thought that stuff was fun. And shows how much of a klutz the character is. His feet get stuck on this paper. He's pretending to use nunchucks and be a ninja, and he keeps hitting himself. He has a staff, and he's fucking breaking the mirrors accidentally. And then this hot woman arrives, saying, I need the help of a ninja. And he's like, hey, I can do it. And granted, his sensei and others don't want him to go, but he's like, I need to do this, I need to help this lady. And then the sensei says, Robin Shou, you don't want to help him. Stay on his tail. Don't let him know you're following him. But I want you to keep him safe. And Robin Shou's like, no, anything than that. But he does it anyway. And there's a lot of fun stuff to this. I agree with Kevin Thomas, who said some nice stuff about Black Sheep. It's lively and funny. I agree. I would put Tommy Boy and Black Sheep above this. But I still think it's a fun idea. Granted, maybe because I'm a big Chris Farley fan, so it's just nice to see him. Just like I said before, he has that energy, that innocence. He was good with the physicality. But I thought he did well with the dialogue, too. There's him freaking out this metal detector. There's him talking to his kid going, I can't reveal my identity. Otherwise, I have to kill you. And scares the kid. He thinks he's getting attacked by the seatbelt in his car, and he attacks the car. This guy tells him, thanks, asshole. So, of course, Chris Farley thinks that's a greeting. So once in a while, he'll greet someone, thanks, asshole. Chris Rock, he's in the film as a bellhop, who's very impressed by Chris Farley's skills. Oh, that was dope. I need you to train me because anytime I'm out of here, I'm running. And the reason I'm running is I know someone's about to kick my ass. And they worked off each other well. That's why I would love to have seen more of that with those two together. compared to the first two, this probably has more of the physical gags, the physical compared to verbal comedy. But I thought he did it very well. I know when this came out, apparently he cried on the shoulder of someone else and then told his agent, I never want to do a movie like this again. And part of me just thinks Chris Farley was way too hard on himself. And I wonder if that was part of the drug addiction. I really do. Because the stuff you hear, like relapsing after seeing Black Sheep, crying on someone's shoulder after seeing this movie, and I'm like, if he was right there, I would show him Jack and Jill. Hell, Adam Sandler, I'll show you Going Overboard, which was before this. You want to talk bad movies, Going Overboard is pretty damn bad. I can show you 100 shitty comedies are worse than this. Chris Farley. I really can. The Love Guru with Mike Myers? You ever seen that? Because, I mean, that was before this. But even, like, people who think this is that bad. Have you seen The Love Guru? How I'll take this over Bruno and the stuff that Sacha Baron Cohen does. I'm not a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen. Or that Brothers Grimsby, the action comedy he did. Brothers Grimsby, whatever the fuck it was called. I'd gladly take this over stuff like that. That's just my opinion. That's the thing, like Chris Farley, it just makes me go, don't be so hard on yourself, man. It's not that bad. Beverly Hills Ninja wasn't that bad. It really isn't. And you have fun set pieces, like when he's at a strip club, and he's seeing this woman, he's like, I'm one with the universe. No, I am not. And he starts dancing. There's another scene where they're at a Chinese food like restaurant. And he's pretending to be a chef. He's not doing a good job, trying to throw stuff and missing. And a fight breaks out, and he starts beating the shit out of this guy with this big fish. And Robin Shou, he appears in these weird disguises to blend in, like he pretends to be a statue at one point. In the restaurant, he pretends to be a woman. Which honestly sounds a lot dumber than it appeared, because it wasn't... Compared to what you would see in an Adam Sandler film nowadays, it's actually rather tame, this film. It really is. You have another thing where they're talking to this guy, Chris Farley and this lady, and trying to get this guy to talk, so they have this thing called the laughing mushroom to make you laugh and tell the truth. But the guy sneezes, and so they're all laughing, they're all telling the truth. And then Farley pretends to be that guy when the villain arrives. And yeah, if you go into this for the story, you find out that the lady was looking for her sister, and the villain, I guess, killed her off, because the villain's dealing with counterfeiting. And these plates, and Chris Farley gets the plates, and they chase Chris Farley. Robin Shou comes in to try to fight. He's doing well, but then Chris Farley screws up. And then Robin Shou's getting beat up. And then Chris Farley finally shows who he truly is. Where he's like, no one messes with my brother. And you have the song, everybody was kung fu fighting. And Chris Farley did fairly well in the physical. For a guy his size, you know, doing roundhouse kicks. And on SNL, he would do cartwheels. Just like he does here. That stuff's not easy, especially for a guy that size. So it's impressive. That's why he should not be ashamed of stuff like this and Black Sheep. And not even people who are fit can't, some of them can't do cartwheels. And then over the top silly stuff as well, like doing splits and stopping a knife. It's like, so sorry. Blocking bullets with his swords. He needs to get this bomb out, so he shoots a harpoon, but then it goes through the room, and it gets to the bad guy's truck, and it drags everything, including the bomb. This guy says it best. From the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Todd Camp. Farley has a flawless talent for physical comedy. It's a kick. And then Jeff Craig of 60-second preview. I laughed my head off. Maybe I didn't laugh my head off. It's not the funniest comedy ever, but entertaining, fun movie. I still got some chuckles out of it. Even little gags, like he takes taking off his shoes because of his culture at the front of the hotel, and every time he comes back, the person cleaned up and taking his shoes away. He said, "What the hell keeps happening with my shoes?" There's a moment where he needs to find the bad guy's lair, and he gets Chris Rock to drive him while Chris Farley's blindfolded. And of course, they don't know what they're doing, so they get on a horse track and a car wash and things of that nature, which is this scene here. And again, maybe if the same film starred Rob Schneider, I would hate it. But Chris Farley had such a talent, comedic presence, that a film like this, very silly film, it works for me. And even, watching a film like this just makes me miss the guy a lot. I wish he was still with us. I wish he was still making movies. And, this is the stuff we have to remember him by. And this is a fun movie. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. I would just be repeating myself. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you later. Bye-bye.